Alright guys, today I'm going to do a quick review on the Tibialis bar here. So this is from Lifepro. Just opened it, tried it out a little bit. Comes in a couple different pieces, and you basically just have to put this bar into this bar with a screw and an Allen wrench that comes with it, and you're ready to go. Takes Olympic plates on here. It comes with a collar, and then I just got one of my other collars on there just for a little extra, because the collar is decent, but when you put a decent amount of weight on there, it's not holding up super amazingly well. So I put that secondary collar on there. And then comes with a Nordic strap too, which is actually quite nice. I don't have a bench to do these on, so I don't know where I'm really going to be able to do Nordics. And I have a glute hand developer over there, so I do most of my hamstring training on that, which is a little different than Nordics. Don't have a bench to use the Nordic strap, but it was kind of a nice little inclusion for 30 bucks. And this Lifepro Tibialis trainer is going for $40 on Amazon right now. The other week it was $39.99, and then I had a $10 off coupon that I used. So it was at the time 32 bucks, like one of the cheapest options out there. There's some other ones for like $35, $40 range. And then if you get to like the Tib Bar guys one, I think is $80, and then Mr. Infinity is like $100. So I'm gonna show you a couple knocks on it I have, and then just kind of give my overall review, and I'll show you another way to do tibialis raises also. So I do not have a bench, unfortunately. So this is probably gonna be my best bet, doing it off of this plyo box here. So in order to do the tib raises, you would load your weights up on this side, and I have 35 pounds on here right now, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's actually quite challenging, and I'll explain part of that also in a second. So you come in here, put your feet, and this thing's actually, like, it spins around really easily, and it's not super user friendly to get into, but I just cannot really find a good way to do this well. All right, I got it in my feet there. I'm going to slide back, lower down, raise up, lower, raise. I should grab the camera so I can show you this view. So I'm sure you've all seen kind of a basic tib raise on Instagram or whatever. Obviously it's all the rage right now that Ben Patrick has, and knees over toes guy, same guy, has kind of like revived this movement, I guess, or like prioritized training this, because a lot of people before this really didn't train the tibialis muscle at all. The only really people I've ever heard training the tibialis specifically are like track and field athletes. So I'm going to slide back a little bit here, show you from this angle. So like I said, it's not the easiest and most comfortable thing to move around. It really wants to rotate on you, but this is the basic tibialis raise. You can see, it's hard to see, but on the way up, your tibialis muscles contract hard, and then on the way down, get a stretch. So 35 pounds with this is actually quite challenging. I thought it would be more, or it's more challenging than I thought it would be. And so the way I would do these before, is I would take a kettlebell. So in this situation, I'd have a 26-pound kettlebell right here. I'd slide a towel through so it's not just cranking that metal right on your foot. Sit back, and then do my tibialis raises with the kettlebell. I've actually been training tibialis for like 2 years now, probably, or maybe a little bit more even. So like even before I really knew that, there was a guy out there training tibialis. I was training tibialis muscles. I definitely don't subscribe to like it makes you super athletic or bulletproof or anything like that. But I did like training it. You know, it's a pretty significant muscle in the lower leg. And this is the way I've been doing it for a long time. putting a kettlebell on my foot, and then just doing your dorsiflexion tib raises with that. Benefits of that, you know, a lot of you probably already have kettlebells, or if you don't, you know, they're not super expensive. You can actually get like 20 pounders, 25 pounders at Target for pretty cheap. And it lets you do one leg at a time. So a lot of people probably have slight strength imbalances. So let's say like my right leg, I can do 15 reps, and my left, I can only do 12 reps. With a kettlebell, I can start with my weak side. I can do 12 reps, and then I can do 12 reps on my right side. And then eventually, once my left can do 15, I can do 15 on both sides, and then progress so that you don't have those imbalances. With the tib bar, you're doing both sides at a time. So if you are stronger in one side, it's not as easy to tell, and one side can kind of take over a little bit more and start doing more work. I think if one side is really stronger than the other one, which I don't, unless you have like some kind of lower leg injury, I don't really see how that could happen. But hypothetically, if one side is way stronger and pulling up way more, I think it would kind of want to turn on you if one side is doing a lot more than the other one. But that is one advantage the kettlebell has. And there's some other devices that they have. I think like Freak Athlete Equipment or something has one you can do single legs with. So the benefit of the tib bar, obviously, is you can do 2 sets total, compared to if you wanted to do 2 sets with each leg on the kettlebell, that's 4 sets total. So your training time for your tibialis is actually cut in half. I think the best way to do your tibialis training, you know, whether you're doing it 1 or 2 times a week, would be to do 1 session with a kettlebell so you can kind of hammer out those imbalances if you have any, and then 1 session with the tib bar, maybe a session where you have more longer workouts, so you're a little shorter on time, you could do the tib bar. If you only have one or the other, you know, I don't think it's a huge deal to just do the tib bar. Like I said, if you have really major imbalances, I think it would kind of start turning to the one side, but just make sure that when you're doing it, you know, you're feeling a pretty good stretch and a pretty good contraction on each one. You know, if one side's getting way more sore, way more tired than the other one, maybe you want to look into single leg options. So like I said, for the price, not a bad piece of equipment. One thing I don't really like is that this bar right here is not adjustable, so there's really only, like, if I'm sitting like this, ideally, you know, it works pretty well, but since this thing rotates side to side, it's kind of easy for your foot to start going up higher, and then it almost like wants to fall through like that. So you don't want that. I mean, it might actually work like that if your foot is just on the plate like that, but then obviously your foot is pushing down on the plate, and like I said, this clamp isn't super good, so it might fall off of there. And then since this is, like, when you have the kettlebell on your foot like this, you know, the weight's really close to your foot. When you're doing it this way, your foot's right here, and the weight is actually like 6 inches away from your foot. And it can even go more since it's sliding down off this collar, because these collars aren't super good. But so since that's a longer lever arm, that's actually be harder. So I tried a couple reps with 45 pounds on this thing, and I got like 3 reps, and it's super hard. And with the 26 pounder, I can do 15 reps on each side. So, and if you think about that, 26 pounds on each side for 15 would be basically equal to doing 52 pounds total. And I can't do 15 with 35 on this, and that's because the leverage is farther out and it makes it that much harder. So I've never tried any tib bars before, so you know, I don't have a ton of experience with these, and it's hard to compare it to any of the other ones. Like I said, at the time, this was one of the cheapest options. I really wish it was adjustable here, and the collar isn't great, but other than that, you know, it does the job for 30 bucks. It actually feels, you know, somewhat decently well made. I'm sure the other ones are better out there, but they're at least twice the price, if not for like the Mr. Infinity one, 3 times the price. So, you know, if you want to spend the money, if you really like training tibs and you think those are the better ones, definitely go for it. I didn't want to spend a ton of money, and I'm probably still going to mainly use the kettlebell version, but this will be nice to just kind of throw in once in a while because I'm short on time, or just to change it up a little bit from that. But it is not super easy to balance it. I think it would definitely work better if you're wearing shoes, but who knows? I guess I'll find out. Maybe I'll do another review in a couple months after I've used it for a while. But overall, you know, if you can get this thing for 10 bucks off coupon, or even not, it's, you know, it's 40 bucks. It was here within a week, and it came with a Nordic lifting strap, which, you know, you could actually do some other stuff with that too. So overall, it's a fairly good bargain, I think. I think Tibialis training is a little overhyped, and I'm going to very quickly go over a couple things in here. Like this booklet here says the benefits of this: basically increase strength and stamina. Yes, definitely. If you're working out a muscle, you'll increase strength and stamina. Protect your joints. You know, stronger muscles around the joints are probably going to be more protective and everything. But when these people make claims like it's going to bulletproof your joints or whatever, you know, doing tibialis raises is not going to ensure that you have indestructible ankles. Like I said, stronger muscles, more support on the joints, definitely better, but it doesn't guarantee, and I just hate the term bulletproofing. Like, you know, if you do these things, you're never going to get hurt. It's just, maybe you won't ever get hurt, you never know, but it's not like these things are like going to make you invincible. Boost athletic performance. Here's another one, you know. Tibialis, I think it's worth training, but I think a lot of this gets overhyped. Like, I mean, people say this is the most important muscle to train. For injury prevention, for athleticism, I highly doubt it. I hate saying one muscle is more important than any other ones, but if I had to pick the most important muscle, the tibialis would be very low on the list. Not worthless. It's worth training it, I think, and getting it stronger. But as far as like huge prime movers or anything like that, that's just gonna take your athleticism to the next level. It's not gonna be the tibialis, sadly. Relieve pain, you know, possibly if your muscle's stronger, can handle more force. So if you have some ankle pain, it might be worth trying out. If you have shin splints, it might be worth trying out. Might aggravate it too and make it worse. I don't know, everyone's different, so you just gotta try it out. But if you have shin splints and you want to see if this helps, I would definitely start out lighter and with higher reps, and, you know, not push it to the max. You know, just get a nice comfortable pump, try that for a couple weeks, see if that's helping, and then progress from there. But don't get so excited that, oh my god, this thing's gonna fix my shin splints, and go and crush like 3 or 4 hard sets with it, because it'll probably just flare it up and make it worse the next day. Increase blood flow into the lower extremities. Yes, obviously if your muscles pumping and you know, contracting and relaxing, you're going to increase blood flow. Develop stronger bones. Yeah, you know, if muscles are acting on joints and pulling on tendons and on bones, that force is eventually going to make the muscle or the bone strengthen and adapt to that force. So I don't think tibialis is a worthless muscle. I don't think it's something you don't want to train, but I also wouldn't put a high priority on training. You know, maybe 1 or 2 workouts a week, you know, 2 or 3 sets. If you have a really weak tibialis for whatever reason, maybe you want to do a little bit more. But for your average person that's just, you know, looking for a little bit of extra strengthening in the lower extremities, 1 to 2 times a week of, you know, 2 sets of 12, 15, whatever you want to do. Maybe vary the reps and sometimes go a little bit lower and a little bit heavier. Definitely something worthwhile to do. It doesn't take that much time, but don't think it's going to make you bulletproof or gain 6 inches on your vertical or make you some athletic freak because you're training your tibialis. It's just another small muscle in the lower leg. I mean, fairly good size muscle compared to some of the other ones, but, you know, it's not going to be a giant game changer. Definitely worth training a little bit, but don't think it's going to be some miracle thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, let me know, and subscribe if you want to see some more equipment reviews and home gym workouts.